What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 4 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Orion Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Orion acquired the Cloak of Isha in his second of 3 quest battles, and while it is a decent item by the looks of it, it does offer us regeneration only when Orion gets low, so he does actually have to get low to do it, so we'll see how much use we get out of it. The important thing for Orion's not crazy but serviceable items is the +1 control and missile strength +5% for everybody, and due to the set effect, which is pretty darn decent. So, we're well on the way. Durthu is on the field and has acquired the first of his units, just some dryads for now, but that'll change over time as we unlock more stuff and as we build his treekin and whatnot. Gotta get him the Firebark Elders as well. Technically, we'll probably use the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart dryads in his army temporarily, but eventually we'll obviously transfer them to Draika when she's back on the field and willing to confederate, and, well, hopefully doesn't die. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this particular turn, I don't believe there's really all that much in terms of moves. In fact, there doesn't appear to be anything in terms of moves, as Orion has already moved and is looking to attack Belagar and the rest of these belligerent Dowie. We do, however, have a little bit in the way of building. Waterfall Palace, you can be upgraded to the next tier, tier 4 already. And Haunted Forest can as well. Oh, this is going to take all of our money. Alright, it's a concerning amount of money gone, but well, what can you do? And then, Waterfall Palace, you still have room, eh? We should probably do something with capacity. We could either do a Grove of the Horse to get a Sisters of the Thorn, although I suppose we could do that here. If we build a Roots of Gyran, we could immediately get another Spellsinger capacity. You know what, maybe this isn't too bad of an idea. Technically, while Orion doesn't necessarily need a second Spellcaster, as he already has Akka here, we can get one to start stealing tech. So I think that's what we'll do. There was one, as I recall. Verdant Sage plus 10% Steel Tech researching, or Steel Tech increase. So, you can start on the Tech Thievery. Tech Thief. And I guess you can come down and start annoying the dwarfs since they've annoyed us first, so why not? Plus, Durthu has, like, PTSD from getting wounded by the dwarfs. Anyway, he'll be more than happy with what we're doing here. I believe now that that's pretty much it. I do want to double check if the Lords got milled. It looks like no, it looks like yes. Plus 20% range. Hello, Moon Shadow Hollow. Glade Lord. I think we found ourselves a candidate. I was going to do the Verdant Adventure before for the upkeep reduction, but I'm going to say 20% range is obviously the way to go. So, Loren, you will be our first. Slaneshi giggle. And do you have anything special for range units? We have to pick between Prey of Anathema and Deadly Onslaught here, but you're going to be commanding a ranged army, so that's hardly surprising. Speed, Elven Spines... I wonder if there's a difference between the Glade Lord and the Lady of the Woods, or Lady of the Glade. We're not going to get both on them field right now, but anyway, Trollon, you're going to transfer the range army to Loren, who will immediately give them plus 20% range, and we'll probably mix a few more range units into this as we go. Maybe use like 4 range cav, and obviously some Way Watchers and Way Stalkers in there as well, though we do need additional capacity for these guys. Hopefully soon, and we'll probably put one of these spellcasters in there. I have to figure out who would benefit... who would be the best for an all-range army? I'm gonna say Beast Lore would be solid because of the Curse of Anric here offering speed and armor reduction, as well as melee attack and accuracy. Pretty much the solid stuff, generally speaking. Lore of Life is also quite nice because it offers missile resistance in the form of the Shield of Thorns, plus the melee damage reflection, and obviously the heals, but the heals probably wouldn't be super useful for an all-ranged army. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Before we end the turn, 2 things. Thing the first, there was a comment asking to up the volume of the game a little bit. I mean, I haven't touched the volume of my game for many months. So you guys let me know how the volume feels throughout this episode, and I will see about any further adjustment. I bumped it up by 5%, but I don't want to do too much. You have to remember that the volume in this game is dynamic. The closer you are to whatever you're selecting, or what you're watching in cinematic battles, and that's where the volume is really going to be important. If you're really right in the thick of things, the din of the battle can get quite loud, which is why I had the volume reasonably low, but high enough so that we could hear, you know, units talking and stuff. So anyway, just let me know. The other thing is, we should probably name some things. Now, none of these guys are going to be kept in this army. The Wild Riders and the Hawk Riders are, so let's start with them. Well, Wild Rider 1, you can be Oscore. Is it Oscore or Oscorai, which is apparently a historical name for the Wild Hunt. Love it. I love the... I love learning. Anyway, and you're going to be a few bucks. Like, so let's name, let's say, half of the Hawk Riders. Sky Hunters, I almost put that Sky Gunters. Sky Gunters, they're actually Imperials, masquerading as elves. That would be fantastic. And the other one, you can be Hawks Together Strong. Oh wow, that actually fit. Still had a few letters. That's surprising. Nice. Alright, there we go. Good enough for now, and good enough to end the turn, unless I'm mistaken. So, let's end the turn. We already used all of our money. We gotta get some more, so... let's go. Alright, Belegar and Fergal Hammerfist will probably take Grimhold. Not really anything we can do about it, but it is what it is. Also, while the turn is ending, once again, we did reach the engagement threshold, so obviously we'll be doing the hour-long episode here. Oh, you poor little army, you're dead. War banner for Orion, goodbye. Obviously we're not fighting that, that's a waste of our time, it's pathetic. Let us... Not a lot of cash. I'm tempted to abduct the captives. We are in our own territory. Oh, we'll heal to max because we have the casualty replenishment. Meaning we should just take the money. Yeah, fine, take the money. Anyway, as I was saying, okay, another interception. Alright, this is the best way to get interrupted. Well, one of the best ways to get interrupted. Laneshi giggle. Anyway, auto-resolve you as well. I wish that we had been able to intercept both armies together at once, because in that case, we wouldn't have needed to... Huh. Belegar was the one we didn't manage to intercept. Go figure. Anyway, we wouldn't have needed to auto-resolve. Lewin, what you want, buddy? Barrow Legion, declare war. No. Not right now, anyway. Although, there may be some merit to it. Let me just think about this for a second. Anyway, as I was saying, hour-long episode this time, and 500 likes and 70 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. Hunt slumbers, and I take it we got our third quest available now. Yes, indeed we do, and nothing from the advisor. Oh, I missed the advisor. Anyway, Spear of Kurnous. We'll do that in a bit. Forest Spirit, sure. Another war banner. Actually, very useful for the Wood Elves. Put that on the Sisters of the Thorn. And Dryad Spy, Obsidian Blade. Hello. Durthul already has the Sword of Daith, but we can put this on the Melee Lord. Very nice. Did we steal that? Where did we get that from? Upgrade any settlement to tier 5 will do. Alright, now... Where the heck did Belegar go? We didn't intercept him. And I feel like killing Belegar also gives you a trait that gives you more interceptions, doesn't it? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Should we colonize Gristle Valley? Damn, really 6,000 gold to colonize an outpost? An outpost. Really? I don't like that. That's way too much. The funds are kind of wacky with Wood Elves, aren't they? What are you gonna do? Anyway, let's start moving. You can either march stance or jump around. Yeah, let's go World Route stance. If somebody intercepts you, then that'll be their problem, to be frank. And go to Kingsglade. Wait, you can't...
I refuse it.
Generally speaking... Okay, not always. Sometimes the game lies about the distance in these stances and you can go further, but it looks like not this case. Anyway, you're going to want to transfer stuff to Loren, so you're going to move over here. And you... A forest encounter. Do we have sufficient strength here to do it? I mean, even if all the dryads die, we still have Durthu. And Durthu's not going to die. Alright, yeah, let's do it. Alright, so the Frozen Heart, we will recruit you. Then, ooh, right, the War Dancers are unlocked as well, aren't they? I'm excited about that because at Tier 3, which is in 2 turns only, we unlock the Trickster's Gallery, which gives us War Dancers and Wildwood Rangers. Because we also have the Wildwood Wardens, this enables us to build a Wildwood Ranger-centric army. The Eternal Wardens enables us to build an Eternal Guard-centric army. And of course, the War Dancers, as Shadow Dancers and Blade Singers will enable us to build a Loic-centric army. I'm really happy about that. More sort of elven-centric armies rather than the just using forest spirits. Which is nice. And especially Wood Elven melee, because obviously Wood Elves are a little bit range-focused, or have a tendency to be. Also, how are we on those drums? 31, eh? Do we have any mission from you? Any missions? No. I would like a mission, please. Also, let's double-check diplomacy while we're here. Confed, no dice as yet. Lots of peace. No Greybeards prospectors. I would rather die, but anyway. Marienburg, I'm just gonna keep ignoring you. Exiles of Nehek, you're at war with the Sisters of Twilight, so that's gonna be a no from me. And I believe that's pretty much it. Alrighty. Durthu, then, if we're gonna go for this forest thing... So did I interrupt myself? Yeah, threshold remains same, 500 likes, 70 comments, hour-long episode. Anyway, ever-reaching tendrils, let's get you Wonders of the Forest for that income from post-battle loot. The Skewering Branch gives us armor-piercing weapon damage for Dryads and buffs for Treekin and Grove Guardians. This also gives us buffs for Treekin and Grove Guardians, who we don't technically have yet. I think out of these, Possessed by the Trickster God is the best one. This gives us melee attack, but you want melee defense on these guys. Yeah, melee defense +4 and damage resistance +4, and of course that is in an aura around Durthu as well. As for whether we need to do that this turn, I mean, we could start moving through Piercing Thorns to buff the Dryads. We already have basic forms of Flock of Doom and Vissen's Wild Form, so we can cast... You know what, I'm gonna say let's get Foe Seeker to close the distance faster. Ooh, Durthu gets Tempered Rigor as well. 12-12 for 2 points is fantastic. I'm almost not sure whether... Well, this is an aura again. Yeah, you know what, let's get Possessed by the Trickster, because the Trickster God will get Skin of the Woods after, once we have some Treekin. And Durthu has a leadership reduction aura of enemies, eh? That'll be nice as well. Fantastic. Anyway, let's give this a try. First forest encounter for Durthu. Let's see if he can manage to pull the... Wait. I didn't do your items. My bad, buddy. Not that I expect you to have a lot of items available to you. What do we have here? I guess take the Potion of Foolhardiness for the additional speed. I don't think you're going to get too much use out of the Obsidian Amulet, but that's all you got. And we can't use any of the other swords. We have a Shrieking Blade, and not still on Orion, but we'll give him the Blade of Anti-Heroes. There's really not much we can do here. Which is fine. And your ancillaries. Hunting Hound, we have the Dryad Spy and the Young Stag, which could in theory be replaced. War Banner, not super useful on Durthu, or at least not as useful on Durthu, because he doesn't have any kind of a range attack, and yeah, I think that's it. And the only Vol's Anvil Smith that we have is on Orion. Alright, I guess we're going in. I guess we didn't really have to do much after all. Durthu? Huh. I guess Forest Call is a little bit of extra damage, a little bit of, it's not much, but it'll power up Durthu further. Yeah, why not? Alright, and who do we have here? A dwarf's spared, plus 20% for Durthu would never. I guess dwarfs punished will be the way to go, and hey, it's more growth, and that is nice. Plus, this will mean an actual foe in battle. Oh, the armor piercing will be useful here. Anyway, let's give this a read. Some dwarf miners have accidentally uncovered a tendril of the world roots. Dwarfs, though stubborn, recognize that wrongs must be righted, and have sent an envoy. They offer compensation and even suggest that they use their runic magics to build a seal that will protect the world root. The tree spirits are suspicious. They say that dwarfen blood will be seal enough. That's pretty metal. Attack. Alrighty, and who do we have here? Oh, it's a master engineer. Okay, the Longbeards are going to be a little bit of a problem. The Slayers are going to be... Well, actually, the Dryad should be able to take care of the Slayers. Yeah, the Longbeards are going to be a problem with their high melee defense and armor. Lots of artillery on the enemy as well. Valiant defeat casualties high. But we have Durthu. I think the game is severely underestimating Durthu. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Durthu makes his debut. You gotta love Durthu. He's got a pretty darn nice design. I still think the malevolent tree spirits look a little bit better, including Coadil, but Durthu's pretty awesome. And the Sword of Daith looks great, and he does fit in much better with this type of lighting than the malevolent tree spirits otherwise would. Speaking of at least some degree of malevolence, well, I guess all dryads are kind of malevolent, but I imagine the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart are a little bit more so. And they should... What do they have here? They have Frostbite and Protectors of the Wood. Wait. So this is just a passive regen and armor and physical resistance ability as long as they're about 50%, so for at least a little while they should survive. It looks like these guys don't really have much other than Frostbite to their name, but that's fine. At least they're tier 2 compared to the tier 1s of the regular units. Anyway, here we go. We're just going to charge straight at the enemy. Durthu does not have Vanguard deployment, but the Dryads all do, and they're going to try to close the distance and get into range of the enemy. Well, range units. And prevent them from firing. Also see how well the Dryads can handle themselves against the likes of Slayers and Longbeards, which is a pretty bad matchup, tier and unit effectiveness-wise, at least until Durthu gets a lot more upgrades for them. Anyway, the Dryads are in and the Dwarfs are out, or at least are moving towards it. Looks like the Grudge Throwers and Cannons here have been overwhelmed, and the same thing over on the left flank. Curious that the enemy army deployed the ball. I tried to say both, and then I tried to say all, and I ended up to say oh, and then I ended up saying ball. We ball, I guess. Anyway, they deployed them on the flank rather than the center, and ooh, it looks like the enemy master engineer bravely firing his Gatling gun at the approaching Durthu, but that's probably like the stinging of mosquitoes to him. I really doubt that that's going to do all that much. With the Sword of Daith active, Durthu hits pretty darn hard already despite the relatively low level, and he's gonna work away at killing that enemy lord. The Wraiths of the Frozen Heart have sent a unit of, I believe, Thunderers scurrying away, but the rest of the battle line is still embroiled in the fight. All of the enemy Grudge Throwers have collapsed, or the enemy artillery in general, because they had cannons. But the Longbeards, I'd wager, will hold for a while longer. Durthu swings away at the Master Engineer, who, okay, will take one more hit apparently. But it's a pretty bad matchup. And I believe down he goes. Lovely. Durthu's still taking a few hits from some Coralers here, but more Dryads do hit them in the back. That said, it's not going all completely our way. The Slayers have nearly destroyed one of these units of Dryads and have racked up nearly 200 kills to their name, which is pretty darn nice, and are now going for the other unit. Of course, the Dryads are able to do damage to them. The Slayers are fragile, and pretty much anything is able to do damage to them, but because of their death blow and their high damage, and they're still killing more Dryads than units that they're losing. Still, technically speaking, Durthu doesn't really need the Dryads, at least not in crazy numbers. So even if we do lose a few, it's not going to be super relevant. Durthu is also casting periodically using the Visen's Wild Form and the Flock of Doom upon the enemy. I'd wager due to their high armor and innate spell resistance, the Flock of Doom is not going to be 40%. Damn. Flock of Doom is not going to be particularly effective against dwarfs, but all good. By the looks of it, the Wrath of the Forest will work out well for us. And how's the volume of the game in the Din now that it's been raised by a little bit? Hopefully not too loud, because zooming in once again does make it louder. Although I feel like the Dryads aren't as loud as a unit of, you know, sort of flanking armored unit might otherwise be. Anyway, the battle shifts to about 85% in our favor. Another unit of Dryads and another unit of Dryads heavily damaged. And the Slayers and the Longbeards fought quite well together, but alas for them, will finally book it on out of there, at least over on this side. And by the looks of it, over on every side, as all the units will be shattering, and the battle will be ours. Very nice. Let's see if the frostbite from the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart comes in handy. The dwarfs are already slow, and this should certainly help us chase them down. And chase them down we shall. Nice little debut for Durthu, and he will only grow stronger from here. Alrighty, close skull for a couple of our units of Dryads, mostly the ones that were facing off against the Slayers and the Longbeards there, and lots of damage on both of those units. Definitely gonna have to be careful, but once we have Treekin, it won't nearly be as much of a problem. Durthu, you're gonna take the money as well. Oh wow, 183 kills on our Wraiths of the Frozen Hearts, significantly stronger than the rest of these guys. And you gotta remember that the Forest Spirits all do magical damage, which means that they're not going to be quite as wary of the dwarf's physical resistance. And Durthu, most damage on you, but it was close. Release captives. Alright, and Volzanvil Smith. Hey, we got a Volzanvil Smith as a reward. Nice. Faction destroyed dwarfs, I guess no piecing out with them, and we will take out the... what was it again that we want to take out? I guess the Hawk Companion. We're not going to have any range in this army. And we're going to pop in that Volzanvil Smith. Oh, lovely. Durthu, you also leveled up, and I guess you can get Skin of the Woods. I mean, you still don't have any Treekin. You know what? No, screw it. Go for Tempered Rigor. Might as well buff up his fighting capabilities. The other option, of course, would be to just ignore this completely, and instead to wait until his final, or his level 12. Cheap Amber Spear. I mean, the main thing that we want out of this is Ward Bark for the additional armor for Dryad. Yeah, you know what? Undo that. We'll do it without Tempered Rigor, rather, and we'll hold off. Durthu, I guess you're gonna move into Waterfall Palace. Although, I wonder, do you heal more? Actually, you heal quite a bit as you are. I was just gonna say, we should probably just jump to Karak Asgaraz and have you defeat them there. What do we got in terms of defenses? Basically nothing, and that'll complete the province. Alright. Let's go here. I want as close to a Karak Asgaraz as we can. We could build more Dryads, but I think we'll hold off. I think we could do without. We also need more war declarations, as armies are costing some upkeep, and I don't like that. Anyway, Tech Thief out here. Orion. I mean, fine, take Gristle Valley. It still bothers me, but I'd rather we hold it than, for example, the Vissenlanders. A little bit of a waste of Orion's movement range, but whatever. I like so. And colonize, just a horrific amount of money, and go for the Ezra Lookout, which costs further money. And we have no real way to defend the place, but, well, what are you gonna do? Kingsglade, you have upgraded to tier 3, which means... Now, we are collecting money here. That said, I think we want more capacities of various kinds. I noticed that the Wildwood Rangers don't need capacity. But we do need... Well, I mean, we need to build all the military structures in basically every single location. Oh, our Treekin capacity is going to be really low. You know what? Let's do the Haunted Groves here. Frankly, since we might not actually need the military structures. The forest wills it. I mean, the places can probably defend themselves. I'm still a little bit worried about a random sudden Skaven stack. It's certainly a concern. Also, the defensive alliance with you would be good as it would give us vision of everything. Fae Enchantress, you know what? Even though this puts Paravant in slight danger, we're gonna join your war against the Barrow Legion for a... do we do military alliance? I mean, the other elves would like it. I don't know whether we should do a military alliance, simply because I'm not so sure that we want really any units of the Bretonnians. You know, let's do defensive for now. They'll give us more money. And we'll see about other stuff later. The vision will be valuable. And we also should find and declare war on all of the rogue armies, because by the looks of it, they do count. Anyway, Loren, you, my friend, are going to... Huh? Oh, we moved you this turn? My bad. I guess you're stuck. You're stuck. That's fine. I guess we could send you down to Karak Bhufdar if, well, depending on what exactly we do with Orion, these things will all probably just fall to rebellions because they have no defenders, so we can just ignore those. We could take Karak Azor, not that we really care about it. Frankly, Orion doesn't want to be here, but, you know. Also, what's the cooldown? We could move somebody, but the Wild Hunt will be back up in 5 turns, so there's no real need to move at the current time. We could reseat the Witchwood, if we do go there, though. Which is certainly a decent idea. We really just need to keep the Sisters of Twilight alive until we get to tier 3, which is when we get their Confederation quest. I wish we had something to... speedify that, but anyway. Scout, you are finding Norskins and other factions. Hello, Dastan Koldar, gonna declare war on you. Are at war with you? Skull Smashes? Yeah, we are. We are not at war with Dastan, so we will be. Declare war. Alright, good, and yeah, it moved. It does work. Also, Slaneshi giggle. Alright, next up, who do we have? Akka, you are waiting to join Orion. Assuming that Orion will move to either Hearn or Azor, you will be able to join him then here. Tech Thief is fine where she is, Lurin is fine where he is, Ara is fine where she is, growing the places. Deluric, you need to keep recruiting. You got 4 Glade Riders with Hagbane tips, let's get you some Glade Riders with spears. Until we can get Wild Riders. Also the Haunted Forest. We can build another capacity here, and I guess we're gonna get more Tribal Stones. Gotta get those Treekin up and running for Durthu. He needs as many as possible. Also, what are we at here? 43. Not so bad. Most likely these guys will take the Scrap Towers, but there isn't really anything we can do about it, so that's just fine. Alrighty, and assuming that there's no diplomacy, and I don't imagine that there... Oh, I lied, there is. Trade with the Western Provinces, yes. More trade with the Cathians is good. And we'll follow up with Everest after, but right now this is gonna have to take priority, assuming that we can't do any other trade. Yeah, we don't have enough trade goods, which is why we need more furs and stuff. Marienburg, Vidrioth, you're all not ready for stuff? Can we just not ever see you again? Aslan, Dreadfleet, we're not piecing out with any of you. Even if they are willing to give us money. Alright, and there's nothing else to build, there's nothing else to do. I suppose we could start collecting income from our big trees. But technically we do need to level these up. On the other hand, is it worth not getting 700 gold per turn? I don't think so. I don't think so, at least not right now. Since we're recruiting, so start collecting income there. Oh, and this place is making 1,000 gold per turn. A little bit more even. Probably, it's because of the exotic animal tamer. Yeah, I'll take the cash. Garrison Lord, unassigned skill points outpost available with the Carcassonne. They did just take a sacking at Castle Carcassonne, so it's kind of not a great place to build that. Hey, they did take the massive forecal. I'll leave them to it. Cameron's doing decently well up here, but let's hope that Lewin can hunt him down. Oh, look at those adorable peasant bowmen. And turn. Oh, we will also need to switch offices, and oh, you can declare war on us? Yeah, I was hoping to remain peaceful with you, buddy. It's not great. Although, his defeat trait could still be useful. Don't call allies to help. Hopefully the northern provinces are probably going to be upset about this. Damn it, Greasy. Yeah, well, if we have to kill all the humans, then we have to kill all the humans. If it happens, it happens. You gotta do what you gotta do. Coadil and Draika will at least be perfectly fine. Oh! I just realized something. Now, I don't really care so much about waiting for our allies to have, or our confederatables to have their unique units, because there's no guarantee they'd have a decent amount. However, Draika gets Coadil. We need to make sure that we get Coadil ourselves. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get vision of her in order to make sure that when we do confederate her, it will be with Coadil as well. Kazrak. Still hanging around here, eh? This guy's gonna run away from Karak Asgaraz. Well, too bad for him. You, Durthu, are gonna go right beside it. And you're gonna occupy it next turn. Alright. Amateur discovered, ally begins outpost, diplomatic relations with Bretonia. Yeah, sure, why not? Hey, Razor Standard, that'll be nice. Sword of Cain claimed again, I think, but anyway. Damn, Orion can move far. He could hunt this guy down if he wanted to, but do we want to go over there? Oh, the rebels failed to take Karak Hearn. Well, that's just rude. Go to Karak Bhufdar, please. And 10% to fail? Okay, what about here? 6% to fail. Or 6% to get wounded, rather. I guess you're going here. Now, failure. Kingsglade is part of this province. Well, it's adjacent to this province, meaning we could actually get some benefit out of taking some of these territories. I guess we'll ignore all this for now. And just for now, though. Orion, you're gonna go here, and you're gonna take Karakazor next. And we should also probably delete somebody in your army. Doesn't really matter all that much as to who. Probably one of the range units. Do you have equal numbers of each kind? You do have equal numbers of each kind. Alright, just delete one of the Glade Guard with Hagbane tips. I need more armor piercing. Delete the Hagbanes. Akka, you're gonna pop into this army. And act as Orion's first spellcaster. Lovely. Alright, what else do we have here that we need to do this turn? Deluric, you've got your 2 additional Glade Riders. You... You know what, leave the settlement, go into encamp, and then go right here, because you'd be able to reach Scrap Towers next turn, and build a couple more Glade Riders. You have 2 more turns until you can build Sisters of the Thorn, but admittedly not many, so... Yeah. Trellan, I would like you to transfer to Loren all of the range units. Like so, and I'd like for you, sir, Loren, to become the Master of Supplies. Plus 10 armor for Eternal Guard. Actually, no, wait, you should be Master of Scouts for the Deepwood Scouts. Yeah, I guess so. You're going to need to build another army that's a little bit cavalry-centric, hopefully a little bit different from Orion's. But anyway, I mean, we'll make Orion's more of a melee-centric cavalry army and a little bit of a range-centric cavalry army for the Herald of the Hunt, I suppose. Or maybe more Stag Knights than Wild Riders, I haven't decided yet. Anyway, We'll leave this for the Eternal Guard army, just because of the additional armor that they're going to get, although the ammunition is nice as well. This gives us sacking and looting as well as campaign movement range. But yeah. I'll do this one. Alright, Loren, you're gonna go here. Wait, how do I... kick you? Loren, in. There we are. Also, what does Town of Kurnous do and come from raising missile strength for you personally? Not a big deal. Alright, now the question is, where do we send Loren? If Orion goes for Karak Azor... well, you're gonna go for Bhufdar, at least for now. We're still gonna have to get you some stuff, namely heroes and other things. We don't have the capacity for now anyway. We are waiting for another caster as well. Scout, go find more things to declare war on, please. Also, what do we get out of the Ohms? Oh, we can't. We can't make it a tier 5 since it's not a magical force, so it still wouldn't be particularly useful to us. Did we discover the Norskins here? I don't know, but we'll see. We shall see. I wonder if these guys are heading towards us. Where are all of those trolls going? It's a pretty solid stack, too. Alright, well, anyway, no buildings to build other than here at the Southern Grey Mountains, Gristle Valley. We will build those tusks eventually, but I guess for now, we'll go for the foraging groves for the construction cost reduction. And that's it. It still feels so weird to not have any admin whatsoever. Spell resistance for Zot's not useful. To us right now, anyway. Loic the Trickster, I do like that missile resistance, but I'm inclined to say we should start moving towards Nethu as well as some of these stuff back here. Aerith Keel. Alright, so go for Drakira for now. Oh, right, there's... Oh, no, you know what? Let's go towards Astraeus, Lord of Hunger. Factions dwindle every single turn, as in the number of factions that exist dwindle every single turn, and thus we want to be wary of not having enough wars up and running. Vidriath and Torgavan are willing to go for defensive alliances now. Military access with Golden Order. I'm glad I checked this. Do it. Not going to be super happy against the... Well, actually, they don't like Goldtooth. I wonder how the Western provinces feel about them. Torgavan is nearly ready for a trade, and actually that means we will be ready for a trade. So, Torgavan, defensive alliance plus trade. Good. Like so, at the Forgebound. We're not at war with you. Declare war. Well, thank you, Torgavan. I don't know how that happened, as in how you were at war with somebody we weren't, but I'm happy about it. You...
Friends of the Empire, come.
Wait, I clicked on the wrong guy. Not Carl. I meant to go for Vidriath. And you won't do the military access. You're not at war with anybody. How much money? Yeah, no, that's not happening. Fine, just do the defensive alliance. It's not like we won't be confederating them either, and if they jump around somewhere, I'd like to maintain vision of them. Still useful. The rest of you... We could take a look at the missions. Alright, fine, let's take a look at the missions. You kill Heinrich Kemmler or some of the other undead. Yeah, sure. Leopold Richterlos and Leopold Richterlos, sure. Probably we'll send Durthu after him. Once he has some Treekin in 3 turns. And we're building up the capacities. Anyway, skip, and turn. And we'll have 3 turns now until the Wild Hunt gets back up and running. You gotta also watch out for the rats coming in, but now that we have the vision from Carcassonne, it's gonna be useful. And that's, I guess, a good reason to have allies nearby, as we are able to make use of their vision. And thus any threats to Athel Loren will be seen from afar. Do have to watch out for Kazrai coming in suddenly as well, mostly because the Oak of Ages is poorly defended, as weird as that may seem. Its garrison is surprisingly weak. You'd think it would be just insanely garrisoned with forest spirits. What are you doing? We could chase him down. I mean, he's trying to go for Karak Norn, most likely. Can he win at Karak Norn? I don't think so. Durthu, take Karak Asgaraz. We'll see what this guy does after. And who knows, we might be able to intercept him. Occupy Heathland. Greybird's Prospector is destroyed. Beautiful. It's a beautiful day. Chevalier de Lianes is Confederated Knights of Origo. Sack and Awe. Raise or sack a settlement belonging to any of the following enemies. Current total, 0. Thanks. It's Draika. Her enemies are numerous, to say the least. Alright, well. Orion. Hello. Looks like this guy, Kadon Grigorovich, would like to take Gristle Valley. Well, I was gonna go for Karak, but now apparently that's no longer a possibility. Alright, fine. You're going here, to my slight annoyance. Not a big deal. Tech Thief, keep on trucking. Radical yeah, okay. Alright, we'll leave it to Loren then. Loren and go for Forest Culls and take Karak Bhufdar. Vic. What the heck are you talking about, auto-resolve? Really? I mean, I guess this is the first battle for this army, so we could do it just at, like, 2-minute cinematic. As silly as that may be. What you gotta do, what you gotta do. Anyway, keep building. You know, we could always give the other Hagbane tips to another sort of army. It doesn't necessarily have to be this one. And, ooh, the War Dancers are up and running. Ooh, that means the Shadow Dancers and stuff are up. Okay, wait. 2 Glade Riders, 1 more Glade Rider. Gotta keep an eye on our cache. And a weather eye on the horizon, just because. Scout, up here. Go find us some Norskins to declare war on. I'm sure they'll sail down to us and annoy us, but, you know, whatever. Really? Manaheimlings have this? No. I was looking for Wulfric and other Norskins, but it's okay. We'll find them. We'll find them eventually. Trellon and Ara, keep growing, as you do. Building, Haunted Forest. We can upgrade either this one, growth +5 additional for all provinces, versus +10 in this particular territory. I'm gonna say all provinces. Like so. Then, Loren, I guess for wait, maybe it's Forest Calls is doing this? Nope. It's just the auto-resolve being completely insane. It's not being as wacky with the other army, so I'm not entirely sure why this is happening. Alright, real quick, just because. Alrighty, to battle indeed, debut for Mr. Loren here. We'll see how well he does. His own warplate looking pretty darn solid, certainly makes him easy to pick out as compared to the rest of the regular Glade Guard. Glade Guard are too far back to fire upon the enemy, but the Deepwood Scouts are not. In fact, we want them to be up close so that they can activate close aim as soon as the enemy gets in range and hit the enemy all that much harder with the additional reload speed and 40% armor piercing increase, which they certainly do need as their armor piercing regular shots aren't all that crazy. Now, the Vanguard deployment, the purpose of it was to try to focus down the enemy Grudge Thrower. It's going to be a threat to pretty much any and all of the range units, but by the looks of it, the crew are getting hosed down by those Swift Shiver Shards, and they'll start doing more damage as the enemy starts closing the distance with them. Down goes the Grudge Thrower, and we can now switch fire. Looks like some Dwarf Warriors are braving the Arrow Storm and moving towards us, but of course they have a lot of ground that they would have to cover in order to get to our main line of Glade Guard. And, well, they're good luck chasing the Deepwood Scouts, who can simply back off and keep using those double Swift Shiver Shards on them. They're not going to catch them, is what I'm getting at. Well, it looks like the other unit of Dwarf Warriors in the right flank is attempting the same thing. Certainly going in the forest isn't going to help you. But they are starting to get, or were starting to get at least decently close to the Glade Guard, having failed or having started to ignore the Swift Shiver Shards. That said, we are starting to take a little bit of damage on a couple of our units. 4 units lost, 5 units lost now on these guys due to the enemy Quarrelers firing away. And of course, as soon as the enemy infantry are dead, we will go after the Quarrelers with the Swift Shiver Shards, but the Glade Guard can start focusing the Quarrelers right now. These poor Dwarfen infantry, all they can do is chase, but it'll do absolutely nothing. What's the speed comparison here? 44 versus 33. It's not actually all that crazy, but obviously it's more than enough. And these guys, unshielded, will break and will probably get ripped apart down to a single dwarf. I do believe we can weave our own cloak of beards. Can't just have the high elves having their cloak of beards. Huh, I wonder if we can get the beard weaver ancillary like the high elves can. As I recall, it was a pretty useful ancillary. The plus, I want to say 4 leadership that it gives against the dwarfs is not relevant, but what it does give... Now look at all those multicolored sort of arrows coming in, and the Swift Shivers, the Starfire, and the Hagbane tips. Anyway, as I was saying, the leadership from it might not have been crazy useful, but the, I think it was 10% hero success chance or something that they gave in addition to all that. Where are you turning, buddy? Where are you turning? I guess it doesn't really matter over much as the enemy army is pretty much destroyed at this point, where you're just gonna have to focus down on the enemy quarrelers, but yeah, don't spin to win, certainly don't turn your back to the Dowie. Alright, get a few more arrows in there, and a roll. Wow. I wonder if that was on purpose. It looked like he rolled to dodge the enemy's axe swing, like it was a sync animation, but it might not have been. It might have just been a coincidence. Anyway, and the enemy lord will run, but now will take thousands upon thousands of arrows to the back, and will finally... Did he lose his head to that? I think he lost his head, damn. Some of those arrows, or the mass of arrows, was was certainly telling. I wonder if it was the regular units that did that, or whether it was perhaps an arrow from the Glade Lord. He does have 4 kills, so that's not clear. Anyway, with that, the battle will end, obviously, in our favor. We took a little bit of damage on the Swift Shiver Shards, who were out front, well, hardly surprisingly, but I don't believe they lost much, if... I don't know why, but this pose is just making me laugh. It's something about the expression. It's not like this guy's like he's not like screaming in pain. I don't know if this is like accidental renaissance or something like that, but I forgot what I was talking about, guys. Sorry. We win. Yeah, auto-resolve. That was always going to be the half of our army destroyed. Okay. Auto-resolve just doing wacky. Auto-resolve, thanks. Lots and lots of damage on our Deepwood Scouts. Considerably, and I mean considerably more than our Glade Guard, but obviously, well, we'll be replacing a decent amount of the Glade Guard. Not all of them, of course, because we want some balance, but yeah. Anyway, although I suppose later on we could replace them with, like, Waystalkers. I don't know if this is the army that's going to be that, but Deepwood Scouts plus Waystalkers plus a little bit of Cav, maybe a couple of Hawk Riders, and solid melee pretty much stack. Anyway, we are going to seed the place, I suppose, though clearing it isn't too bad, but it is a heathland. And we do have some wood here, but it does border Kingsglade, so we would be able to reduce the tier 4 at least, which we can no longer afford, so may as well try. Loren, I think you could use a war banner. Don't bother with the Dryad Spy, can't do the Forest Spirits, I should put those on more heroes. You can have the Hawk Companion for additional range, have a Royal Standard Bearer, no need for War Dancers, and no real need for the Young Stag, at least not yet. As for your items... Oh, you already have magical range attacks. I was going to give you the Sword of Anti-Heroes, but that is not necessary. I guess we'll give you the Sword of Strife for now. You don't deserve the Obsidian Blade. Also, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Fancy armor. Still very much in the whatchamacallit, theme. You're probably going to have to do Sight Beyond Sight. Well, we'll start with Arrow of Kurnous, but technically, since you're going to have heroes that will also have Sight Beyond Sight, we'll have to give some thought to this, that it might be better to use one of the others. So damage resistance would still be viable in terms of being in range. I'll think about it. Anyway, Foraging Groves, please. And we'll have to go back to Karak, but it's just a bunch of garbage rebels, so it hardly matters. Anyway, what I wanted to do was go to the Waterfall Palace, and since we have this... Huh. +1 for Glade Captains and Shadow Dancers does not stack. What does that mean? Does that mean that if we build another one of these in a different province, that we won't get any additional Shadow Dancers or Glade Captains? Why would that be the case? Alright, anybody who's done this, please let me know. Huh? Oh, does this actually allow us to recruit Shadow Dancers, does it? It allows us to recruit Glade Captains so far. Well, what do we have here? Enable Contact Effect Bone Crusher. Now, the Glade Captains, as I recall, they kept bird mounts. And thus would be good to deleting some Hawk Riders. I'm wondering whether we should bother putting one in Orion's army. Let's get you on the field right now. I don't know what other kind of sort of buffs they have, but we'll see. And, ooh, that's a big ol' hat. It's a big ol' elven hat. Makes sense. What do we have for them? So you have Colossal Strike. You have Retinue Physician. Ooh, increase mobility. Oh, damn. And they have Retinue Valet and Retinue Physician and Retinue Quartermaster on top of increased mobility. Yeah, we should probably put you everywhere. And Strider for all cavalry units? Wait. And Vigor Loss Reduction for cavalry, which is great as well, but causes terror when mounted on a Great Eagle, causes fear for Hawk Ride. Damn, we need 2 of these for Orion. And Touched by Loic. Huh. And we'll need these for the Shadow Dancer army, and we'll need these for the Wildwood Ranger army. What the heck? Everybody needs these guys. And charge bonus, well, this is only for forest battles, so that actually doesn't really matter as much, but, okay. Well, I am now realizing that these guys are pretty important. I don't like the destructive trait, though. I suppose there was a reason they're chosen. This is Wayfarer, which is, I guess, a better version of Strider, because I was now thinking, wait, do we actually need that in Orion's army? Because he's probably not going to have a lot of Sisters of the Thorn, maybe 4, maybe 2, I don't know. And the additional casting would be useful. But the Glade Captains have thrown a wrench into that whole thing because they're good. They're good, and they got Great Stags and Great Eagles as mounts. Alright, well, we'll deal with that. Now, I guess the question is, how do we get more capacity for them if this does not stack and does not give us additional capacity? Presuming. I'll build another one somewhere else and then we'll see, I guess. But it is still concerning. Anyway, Spell Singer. We need one for the ranged army. Or we could get another Tech Thief. This gives us one some magic power reserve, but it's only +2. Bound Shield of Thorns on Shadow. Now, the Pit of Shades, probably a great spell, but probably not crazy useful in the range line. Penumbral Pendulum, completely useless, and because it would not, well, you'd basically never get a line of enemies. The Withering, and then Feebling Foe. Yeah, I don't think Shadow will work super well with them. And basically, while we would be able to spam Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma to slow the enemy down, otherwise it would be too difficult to line up shots on the blob of enemies. I'm still thinking that life might actually be the best option here. Well, either life or beasts. Amber Spear is kind of a range attack. It's basically the question between the Curse of Anrakir and the other stuff. Though I do like the ability to summon eagles, because they're a melee unit that we can use in emergencies, like if these guys get charged by something. You know what, let's start with the beasts, and then we'll see. Yeah, we could get Sylvan Swiftness for you as well. Because we're probably going to pop some Sisters of the Thorn into your army. Oh, I assume... Wait, they already have Strider. Wait. Don't... Ah, these guys already have Strider. Wait. Give me a second here. Born to Ride gives Strider for all cavalry units, but... A moment. I think all cavalry units of the Wood Elves already have it as a trait. Ah, okay, somebody didn't think this through. Yeah, it looks like all cavalry units of the Wood Elves already have Strider. Every single one. So I guess it would only be useful to the Glade Captain, or herself. You still get the vigor loss reduction for cavalry, but that's a little bit disappointing. Yeah, somebody didn't think that one through. Anyway, at least I spotted that. What else do we have here? Oh, the tree. The tree can't, the oak rather. It can't really do anything for us. Anyway, I think that's another end turn, assuming there's no Diplo, or did I check Diplo this turn? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Either way, we're ending the turn. Skip, 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 skip. Let's see about what those vampire counts do. I really don't want to sit around and defend these territories, which means we're going to have to be a little bit friendly with the Empire to make sure that they protect their territories, and by protecting their territories, then don't allow the enemy to close the distance. We also don't really want to go overboard on the outposts as they increase our tactical threat to all the other factions. Peace treaty. No, Belagar, no, you're dead. You declared war on us randomly, though we had done nothing to you. I mean, copious I was about to say copious insults. I just imagine like a dwarven warband moving outside of a forest or walking by a road. They just hear like random insults coming out of the woods, just vitriol and stuff. I'm tremendously amused at myself here. Anyway. Durthu, you can leave Karak, I guess, and go towards Sundram Doomtamer. I don't know where he's gonna go though. Also don't want to waste time, don't want to waste Durthu's time chasing him, but on the other hand, I'm sure it'll be fine. Go for the Foraging Groves again. There's Karak. He's taken Grunberg. Altdorf is okay though, so that's the important part. Oh man, those 4 factions we were at war with that just died. That's not great. Another forest encounter. Alright, we'll send Durthu to that one. Shortly. And we got Treekin coming up in a bit, and ooh, we got stuff to build, and a brutal business as well, which might actually be dangerous to us to some degree. Anyway, let us get you up and running, Sculptor's Cavern. Let's keep building the tribal stones for more Treekin. And okay, let's check the other place. Haunted Forest. You're doing the same thing. 5 turns until we get 4 more Treekin. You have a fairly solid stack, actually. Not enough to take this on, but enough to defend this place until the Wild Hunt comes again, which is in a couple turns. Damn, Sisters of the Thorn are expensive. To build, at least. That's all of our money. But we gotta build them. Can't just sit and not build them, so we are gonna build them. Alright. Gotta do what you gotta do. And I believe it's time to move again. Orion, let's get some of that cash back, shall we? And we will do so by killing off Kadan Grigorovich. Transformation of Kadan. Any relation? And this is also garbage. Forest calls. Kill. He's gonna run. Do we have military access with these guys? Or are they gonna be upsetty? Oh, the heck? They don't like us killing Angrund, but they... I really wish that they redid this a little bit. Like, you're at war with one faction that they like, and you're also at war with, like, 50,000 factions that they dislike, but no, they hate you because of it. You know what? You get to die. How does Carl feel about us, conversely? He also does not like us fighting Clan Angrund, but seems to be a lot more okay with us. He's also not going to be super happy with us trespassing in their territory. What's the likelihood that we can get you to break your access with Clan Angrund? No. What about break your trade agreements with Angrund? -11. Better. Maybe if we take this and transfer it to them. Break non-aggression pact with Angrund? Huh. That's interesting. They have a non-aggression pact with Angrund and Draika. Wasn't expecting that. Go figure. Alright, no Diplo, at least not right now. Orion, I guess you're trespassing, my friend. Let's get you leveled up and let's hit them. Amongst the boughs. Keep your army free. And I guess, wait, why do we don't want cunning? We went for cleanse the forest, and there's nothing else super important here with the possible exception of tempered rigor. So I guess we're gonna go pick them off for the additional range. It's really not much, but why not? Campaign movement range 1 not embedded, so not super important for us. Alright, time to fight, go. And yeah, just a waste of time, auto-resolve it. How much damage did we take from this? Oh, for the love of auto-resolve. What you doing? I guess we need the... I was about to say we need the money, but you know what? We kind of need the healing. Alright, just heal. Just heal. We'll rely on post-battle loot here. And Orion, you are going to go into regular stance. You're going to occupy Wissenberg, and we'll try to trade it to these guys. And hello. Maybe Vlad will attack us because we're damaged. It might be useful. Seed this. And then build it up. And then build marble or whatever, and then trade it, and we'll see. Also, we do have our first level on you. Go for, well, we need some casting, even if we don't have a lot of mana, so go for it. And pick them off. Alrighty, that's Orion. Who's up next? Deluric doesn't need to move. Loren, you. I guess you're going to Karak. These guys are also building up an army at Karak. Might behoove us to, well, go up there and deal with them as well. Go here. The Tech Thief critically failed, so she got nothing. Scout, you are still looking for Norskins and other Chaos Forces to declare war on. And Iarak, what did I give you again? Bone Crusher, which is fine. Or actually, wait. Hello, Bolster Defense. Oh, that's solid. It's not a crazy aura, but expert charge defense could be very useful depending on the particular army that you're in. So let's get you. As for Iarak, with that combat savant, it does give you Bone Crusher to range, which is interesting. Alright, you know what? You're going to go into the ranged army then. Wait, do you even buff ranged units? Are those the one type of unit you don't buff? I mean, technically you give some buffs to Hawk Riders and to these guys, so it's nothing crazy, but you're more buffing to melee. But nonetheless, pop you into the Ranger Army, at least one of you. And then we'll still need Waste Stalkers. But we don't have the capacity for them. Alrighty, nor do we have the money. Anybody else by the looks of it? No, so we can skip. And we gotta get Durthu back here as well. Also, wait. How many turns? I think we'll forego upgrading the trees past tier 4 because it's just super expensive. And we unlock almost everything other than Treekin, Stagnites, and Forest Dragons. Or maybe we'll just upgrade one of them just for these and then leave the others at tier 4 for a while we build up our armies, essentially. Probably the way to go. Also, if we can't get a big battle in this particular episode, we'll just do the next quest. I mean, why not? It's another nice aspect of having all these quests available early on, that we can use them, or as we can use them for fighting big battles where there are not easy ones. Close victory. I mean, this is gonna hurt us because the auto-resolve is being silly today, but we'll just auto-resolve it, whatever. And we will take the money. Because we really need the money. Durthu has other places he has to be anyway. And we do have to watch out for the Skaven coming up north, though. The Quenelle could fall very, very easily. And the Skaven, I'm sure, are building many an army out there. Alright, Ironbrow's expedition destroyed western provinces. Damn, I was going to attack the Jade Custodians. It's a bit of a shame. I didn't even remember declaring war on Tilea. Just declare war on everything. We've already invested in this place, so we are going to... Wait, if you go into ambush stance... No, I was hoping we could ambush this guy, but apparently not. Go here. Huh. Maybe he'll attack us. Maybe I should have jumped into Karak Bhufdar instead. I wonder what else he's got in his army. I guess we'll see. Another war banner, a constructor, summer solstice. And we're looking good. Vladdy, where be ye? Out of range be ye. Alright. Wissenberg. How much are you worth to... Wait, it's part of the Nuln province. Yes, yes. How much are you worth to these guys? -02, so without an actual building, probably not worth a lot. 3 turns for one of these, and... I should remembered whether the trade good was worth more. This might get us the ability to get some factions trading with us, or more factions trading with us, so we could potentially make use of this. Yeah, why not? It does technically generate money as well. Alrighty, as for you, my friend, you can either take Dotternbach, which has basically nothing. Yeah, fine, take Dotternbach. I assume these guys can't reach Marion, or Wissenberg rather, in a single turn, and Elspeth should in theory be safe for now. I also don't want to be hanging around here, but the Wild Hunt is, well, it'll be up next turn, so we gotta get out. Alright, go to Doddernbach, we will still trade it. Hopefully the auto-resolve doesn't do too much. Auto-resolve, and okay, for once it's fine. We'll seed it just to trade it, and we will pump it back up. Netherval's Anvil Smith, the Banner of Eternal Flame, should be very solid on some of our... on some of our melee armies. There's also an interesting idea about it. We could give it to Durthu and lean towards fire for his tree army, which would be unusual, but also then lean towards ice for the Wargrove of Woe, potentially. Anyway, what do we have in the other quest? Not the Confederation quests, Spear of Kurnous. And, oh, they've got Wild Riders and a Tree Man this time around, so a little bit better, and reinforcements on top of it. Yeah, alright, that sounds like it'll actually be a toughie. Good. Spear of Kurnous. Winter grows ever closer, and with it, the time of Orion's return to the Oak of Ages and to renewal. Yet there are forces of darkness that would see this path curtailed all too quickly. Having infiltrated the Oak of Ages, Anathrema, goddess of the savage hunt, plans to supplant Ariel and ascend to an Athel Loren shaped by her malicious desires. Athel Loren is in uproar. Fear sets in like a deep chill, which shatters into panic when a rebel force reveals itself, advancing on the Oak of Ages. Orion's final act must be to destroy this force and put Anathrema's destructive desires to the sword once and for all. Did they really use destructive desires twice? Come on now. Even AI wouldn't do that, although I guess that's, maybe that's how you know it isn't a teleport. Alright, Pyrrhic Victory, they've got... Oh, the Lord's on a Forest Dragon. That's a big old target. That is a big old target. How are your resistances? 10% resistance? That's a big old target with not a lot of resistance. Good luck. These violent desires must not come to fruition. Orion is all that stands between the Oak of Ages and the utter ruin of Athel Loren. They will come from the south, intent on breaking through Orion's defenses and attacking the Oak, but the king will stand firm. Alright, I stopped reading a little bit too early. I never have time to read the full thing, so yeah. They should bring back the continue button.
The seasons move ever on, and I feel the call to the Oak of Ages. Before I return to Ariel's embrace, another must be chosen to be born anew. Yet these traitors would sully the forest and bear a corrupt vision into being through their blackened hearts. These curs cannot be suffered to live. Though we challenge Anathrema herself, the will of Kurnous must spurn her once more and overcome these perverse desires. Slaughter them!
Alrighty, here we go. The enemy has a stack roughly equivalent to ours, which should be pretty darn interesting, and reinforcements available to them as well. Plus, they're on the defensive, and, well, generally speaking, I think this is going to be a good fight. I also like the fact that fighting here means that we got very nice sort of lighting. Everything is going to be nice and visible, and that's just the way we like it. We like to fight with the lights on, among other things. Anyway, Slaneshi giggle aside, we're going to start the battle off with our Hawk Riders deployed on the right flank, where the enemy Glade Riders with Hagbane tips are deployed with the units of Wild Riders, War Dancers, and Treemen. Essentially, all of their best elite units, other than the other Wild Riders, are sort of sitting around here, and we're hoping to take out the anti-air and Glade Riders. And then go after the Wild Riders and other stuff after. Oh, actually, I like the shields on their horses. Huh. Certainly reminds me a little bit of the historical titles, but I think they look pretty darn decent. Anyway, what do we have here? The Wild Riders have moved out and are starting to head towards us. Orion, I was about to say Kurnous, but, you know, sort of the same thing. He is the avatar of Kurnous, after all. Has used the hounds of Kurnous in this big old blob of enemy units just as they cross the bridge. Of course, it's not going to dish out damage to all of them, but it'll do a little bit of area denial, and I'm sure do plenty of damage. Anyway, as the enemy Wild Riders attempt to stream towards us, we will use the Prey of Anathrema on our Away Stalker and try to dish out as much damage to them as possible. They do have that ward save on them. One other thing I really like about these stags and the way that they move is that, unlike the horses, it actually looks like they're actively trying to dodge arrows when they're riding into an arrow storm, which is pretty solid. Anyway, those are not the only Wild Riders on the field, as another unit attempts to flank us from the left, and we'll meet with Wild Rider versus a Wild Rider. The stags will, I don't know, cross antler to antler. Kind of like they do in rutting season, I guess. And we'll rip apart those Wild Riders as well, especially having had the Eternal Guard take the brunt of the charge and the brunt of the damage. Orion is in the middle of the fray, though unfortunately for him, Eternal Guard and now War Dancers as well are going after them. Have to be very, very wary of the War Dancers. 55 melee attack with Sundering Armor, 154 weapon strength, armor piercing on these guys, and with 40 units to their name. That is a lot, and I mean a lot of damage, so Orion is very much in danger here. Plus, it's not the only danger. Another unit of Wild Riders appears as a reinforcement. 2 more come in, and 3 more from our flanks. We're definitely getting a taste of our own medicine, almost like from Orion's future, as this is the kind of numbers of Wild Riders that we ourselves would like to have. The Wild Riders finally are able to close the distance with our range units, and this forces us to move our Hawk Riders in to fight in melee. Gotta remember that while the Hawk Riders are fragile, very, very fragile in melee, they are able to dish out a lot of damage, and we can see the Wild Riders dropping. That said, the enemy also has moved a Tree Man into reinforcement, or to reinforce the Wild Riders, who is probably able to kill off a few of those Hawk Riders. More Wild Riders have hit our left flank as well, and we're sending our own Wild Riders and Hawks working together to try to overwhelm them, unless they do too much damage. Definitely a lot of like-on-like fighting here. Orion down to a sliver of HP at about 10% as those Azrae War Dancers were able to dish out massive damage to him. The Tree Man rather continues to stride forward through the battlefield, although now it's probably going to be time to focus him down. With the Wild Riders of the enemy destroyed, fragile as they are, though they did deal their damage, our Hawk Riders move into the enemy's back lines and start... man, there's a lot of screaming, and this is... this is where I'm hoping the volume isn't too loud, because everybody's screaming. It does make me laugh a little bit, though. Anyway, I do believe the Treekin will go down, or Tree Man, rather, will go down under concentrated fire from all of our range units. Our entire army heavily damaged at this point, but the enemy Lord will give it up, as all of its army has been destroyed, and it, by the looks of it, does not want to continue fighting. Just want to take a look at how the Lord looks. Ooh, I like that helmet. I like that helmet a lot. Very nice. As well as the dragon. Did the dragon get any additional armor? Well, I suppose the question is any armor made by the elves going to be tougher than dragon scale? I would wager that standard Athilmar is not going to be tougher than dragon scale by any means. Athilmar is supposed to be tough as steel, but like, I don't know, many times lighter, so... Anyway, Pyrrhic victory for us, certainly. That took some effort, but it was a great fight. Alrighty, there we go. A Pyrrhic victory and a proper tough fight. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units of Wild Riders. Weirdly, more Wild Riders in the enemy army than in ours. Were certainly tough to deal with. We had to throw our Hawk Riders into the fray, lest the Wild Riders overrun us. And of course, we gave as much as, well, not maybe as many Wild Riders, but well, plenty enough to see the enemy off. Anyway, I was also fairly impressed with the War Dancers with Ezra's spears, hardly surprising as they are very strong at killing single targets, and they did a ton of damage to Orion himself. Of course, it didn't stop Orion from dishing out plenty of damage of his own. We will obviously take the money, as 3.5k is just not something we can say no to at this time. And Hunting Hound, and there's the Spear of Kurnous. Now we do have the ability itself at, well, 150 cooldown, 150 seconds rather, is quite a bit, but lots more missile strength, lots more magical damage, recruitment cost reduction kind of irrelevant, but the income from post-battle loot and the faction-wide buffs are nice as well. Enigmas of Gyran Zotes, and there's the quest completed. Also, Durthu, you only have the Sword of Death. Yeah, you only have the Sword of Death. I was wondering whether we could get him something else, but not a big deal. Ooh, first of our Treecan, 2 for Durthu, and it'll be plenty more shortly. We could start recruiting War Dancers and such as well, should we desire it. Depending on what and where we have money to spend. Also, Karak, you're going down here, and we'll see whether... Oh, wow. That's a lot of Pistoliers and Outriders. Certainly an interesting army. Anyway, Scout, you are still going up north. Find Norskins, find Chaos, find anything and everything and that we can declare war on. And there we go. We got a Siggy, we got a World Walkers as well. Tallyman, Broken Wheel, we'll declare war on them as well. As soon as we can get to them. War. And they're not even fighting anybody who we can declare war on. You are currently at war with the Drowned and Subtle Torture. And we can already declare war on Subtle Torture directly. I wish we could find the Deadwood Sentinels, but anyway, declare war on you. You'll bring Aghole into the mix, and it would be a good idea to find all the Chaos factions and declare war on them, as well as their little tiny vassals. 2 for the price of 1. And, you know what, there's probably others to declare war on normally. Once again, I do this between the episodes. However, in this particular situation, if we want to end the turn, we'll want war declarations on all of them. Pirates of Sartosa, still relatively near, but you know what? Why not? Another war declaration. Our money is, well, we need all of our armies to be free if we want those expensive war dancers and such. Vissenland, Nordland... Okay, I was just double checking whether they were or had declared war on anybody we might want to fight. You don't like military actions against the dwarfs, and this is like random dwarfs, not even a faction. It's a little bit rude, but whatever. Initiate diplomacy, declare war. Yeah, we're not, it's not like we're at war with all of Chaos, essentially, and you're just annoyed that we attacked a random little dwarf army. You are at war with Clan Rictus, who we can't see, so join war against Rictus. That's offer. Good. And, oh, I was about to declare war on you, but you're trading with the Western provinces, so I guess we will hold off on that, at least for now. What the heck is the lizard's problem? Oh, strategic threat. I guess we've taken a few too many outposts, eh? Might want to trade some of them back. Oh, wow, the Daughters of the Forest hate us. They don't like the treaty. Okay, fine, well then we'll declare war on you, too. Declare war. King Cat, you have Death. What the heck are you doing here? What is this? And Find, what? Did they both travel through the world routes to come up here? And what the heck? Mazdamundi's up at the Plain of Dogs. Is he defeating the Cult of Pleasure? This is some interesting stuff happening. There's some very interesting stuff happening. A lot of unexpected things happening, I suppose. I believe... Disciples of Hashut. At war with Clan Ferric. Join war against Clan Ferric. And declare war. I find this very funny. We might piece out with a few of them, and... Boris Ursus. Hello. Declare war on Legion, declare war on Talymon, declare war on Warhost of the Apocalypse. We will ask you for a trade agreement. And, oh, Draca's not gonna like this, will she? Well, we'll just keep the trade agreement for the money. We'll not do other stuff. Although, if we could get some ice units, I wouldn't mind. I'm shocked that Boris is alive as he looks here, because he's looking pretty alive. You, declare war on Molder and Ecstatic Legions. And give us 5.3k? Yes, please. Basically, this is what replaces admin for our factions. And we're at war with the Great Orthodoxy. We could now declare war on all the Kislevites if we wanted to, which would be funny, but there isn't really any need. Nagaroth, Deadwood Sentinels, and Karand Kar. And we'll do a trade agreement. Lovely. What else do we have here as an option? Ivres, we are... Damn, that strategic threat. Yeah, definitely gonna have to get rid of some of those outposts, and Illyrian is still alive. Grimgor, wellity. To join war against overlords of Jarduk and servants of the Conclave. For money. Nice, and then declare war. Once again, this is just tremendously amusing to me. And I believe that's it, right? I think we're at war. No, Zatan, hello. Yeah. Alright, now that's gotta be it. We're not at war with Karak yet. They are dying. They are indeed dying, and they don't like us. And they're friendly with the Empires. I guess we'll leave them alone for now. Alright, so we're at 6.9k up to 8.4k. Are all of our armies free yet? Orion's is free, but he has additional reductions. Druth's down to 45. The only thing that costs money is, for some reason, the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart. Luren's is not quite free yet, but obviously Orion has double the amount of reductions. Still, I'd say that's pretty good. We're not going to upgrade Kingsglaive, but we are going to keep recruiting then, which means, despite the ludicrous cost, let's start on some War Dancers. Just because we don't have capacity for them doesn't mean we can't pretty much put them in use as soon as we get them. Just combine them with some other armies. And then... How does it get growth here? It's not a lot. It's +5. We can always reset you later, though. I get the growth. It'll help. Anyway, start with some War Dancers. Yeah, really love the War Dancers. They're really fun, so yeah, and you can get growth of the forest as well, and we'll reset you as needed. Do you need to build anything here? I mean, you don't really have anything that you should be building. We could build more Deepwood Scouts, but do we need to? I mean, I guess another question is, would we want to replace some of the Glade Guard with additional Deepwood Scouts? Now, these aren't the close combat variant. They're kind of the opposite. Right? Enabled if... Oh, no, they're not. It's still enabled if enemy presence is in range. It's still close combat. So that means the Swift Shiver Shards are just a better pick here. And there doesn't feel like there's a need then. Alright, you stay where you are, Trelon. Keep growing the place and eventually recruiting some stuff once we get more stuff in there. Slanesh giggle. Anyway, Zoltothios. You are the other Glade Captain. You are the haughty Glade Captain. And you know what? You can stay with Ara for now because you can get that bolstered defense up on the War Dancers. Durthu. You're gonna deal with this, but you need to heal for a turn first, so go right to the edge of it. And, well, you're gonna get the Treekin in 2 turns, or at least some of the Treekin in 2 turns. And I believe that's it for this turn, so unless there's minor buildings to build, I don't want to build anything too expensive, and unless... You're still recruiting for another turn, aren't you? Maybe your first Sisters of the Thorn. Oh, we could build some more Glade Riders, should we desire it. I'm gonna go with some more of the Hagbane tips. I don't really see the point of ever building the non-Hagbane variant because they're exactly the same in all stats with the exception of the fact that they don't have poison. And these can be transferred to another army, these can be transferred to another army, looking good. And with the Wild Hunt up, we can move at any point. Oh. The Wild Hunt up in a turn. Huh? Could have sworn, okay, I guess I saw something else. Oh, that's fine. We could also just send this army up north if we wanted to, maybe raise a few of the ogre territories. I mean, it is an army now. How effective the Glade Riders with Spears would be against Against ogres, I am admittedly not sure. I am sure, however, I want to end the turn, and end the turn we shall. Go. Alrighty. And we'll continue moving north and finding more factions to declare war on, and hopefully it'll also be self-perpetuating in that if we declare war on all the Skaven, we declare war on half Chaos, all of the other Chaos, or all the other remaining factions of similar types will then redeclare war, or follow the others and declare war on us. Which would be ideal.
Why do you cling to the deeds of law?
Ponce, I had forgotten that I declared war on you. Do we need to be at war with you? Just money. Not a lot of money. You know what? You are currently at war with Exiles of Khorne. We'll trade one war, and we'll take the money as well. Lovely. That works for me. It certainly does. Now, will Tilea attempt to attack us? No, those cowardly... Really? Okay, I guess the Pistoliers are also not super liked by the Auto-Resolve, but, Nordland and Reichland Confederated. Nissan and Ostermark Confederated. Crooked Moon, Wa fails. Ambusher discovered Karak. Still at Grunberg, perhaps, might be able to fight him with Orion. However, Ambusher discovered Ungrel Stoneheart. Probably moving towards us as well. And I don't know what the Skaven are up to, but I know it's probably not good for anybody but the Skaven. We should probably fight this. And fight it we shall. Force calls. A valiant defeat yet again. I'm surprised that they didn't attack us, probably because of the presence of the... the garrison. Without the garrison, however, they're a lot braver. Perhaps brave enough to dish out plenty of damage to us. It really depends on if the AI is smart enough to send the Pistoliers into melee, because if they do, they might be able to dish out sufficient damage to us. If they don't, less so. Yeah. Alright, looks like our Lord didn't want to say anything this time around. But anyway, as the battle was loading, I was thinking, I wonder why this particular battle excites me so. And, the Swiftshiver shards look fantastic in this lighting. Like little, like little icicle bolts falling from the sky. Ice Guard, eat your heart out. Anyway, as I was saying, the reason that this particular battle excites me is the Pistolier and Outrider army this exactly the kind of army I myself would make. It's like a themed army built by the Talans. Of course, the AI isn't doing it on purpose, but it is very nice to see. Anyway, as the Swiftshiver shards have Vanguard deployed, and generally speaking, the deployment, we have deployed on the right flank, well, their right flank, our left flank, whatever, on the left, so that we can essentially focus down about half of their army, or maybe 2/3 of their army, as fast as possible, while ignoring all the rest, or as many as we can. Of course, the enemy is giving, maybe not quite as good as they're getting, but they are giving, and we are starting to take damage on a fair few of our units. So I'm loving all the multicolored arrows going. We gotta get a few more in here. I'm gonna try to get some Sisters of Athel Loren from the High Elves ASAP. Maybe into this army, even some Way Watchers, some Sisters of Athel Loren, just mix of all the range units together. I wonder what the arrows from the Sisters of the Thorn look like. I guess we'll find out rather shortly, because we are building them. Anyway, looks like the left portion of the enemy army is very heavily damaged, though the balance of power is only now slightly in our favor, at about 60-ish%, maybe 65%. The enemy, by the looks of it, is not deigning to use their Pistoliers as melee units, and is not attempting to charge us. And we had even prepared for, wow, look at all those arrows fly. And we had even to some degree prepared for it, as well as the enemy artillery, by deploying all of our units of Glade Guard just slightly away from each other, so that we didn't take additional damage from the artillery or from any charges, and could react to them a little bit easier without our units getting into each other's way. Frankly, this map is quite dark, but the arrows are lighting up the darkness. Can't quite tell what is dying, but we do know that wherever the arrows fall, the humans are laid to waste. Looks like the enemy lord now being focused down, but not for long, as arrow fire from every single direction will bring him down, as our Swift Shiver, or Deepwood scouts with Swift Shiver shards, were moving towards the enemy artillery piece. They do have to stop in places. I didn't tell them to target the artillery in particular, and thus they will take a few shots from the enemy mortar, unfortunately. But what are you gonna do? Once again, I'm very much of the opinion that the Total War franchise in general needs to borrow a system from the Battlefleet Gothic game, or games, which... It just reminded me, Battlefleet Gothic had like a little tiny hotfix recently. Was it yesterday or something like that? Which just shocked me. I thought that they might be getting another DLC, and I got so happy for a second there. Just for a second, though. Anyway, that distracted me. They need to borrow the system, and I've ranted about this before, but Battlefleet Gothic, for those unfamiliar with it, is a Warhammer 40k sort of space naval style game on a single axis, essentially. So it's not using the sort of a y-axis that a space game might have, but it's all about broadsides, and it looks fantastic, and it's got some great characterization of characters, especially Necrons. But anyway, all that aside, a system that it has is you can select an enemy unit, in fact any enemy unit or ship in particular, and it has a little menu where you can select the priority of that target, as in all your units, when not told to specifically target a target, will then target a unit by order of priority. So for example, we could have set the Outriders to priority 1 and then the Pistoliers to priority 2, leaving all of our units, when they can target the Outriders and the Pistoliers at the same time, they would always thus attempt to destroy the Outriders before the Pistoliers due to that particular ordering. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I think it's a great system, and I think that Warhammer and Total War, and just general, all the Total War games could probably use it. You'd probably have your commander saying, you know what, maybe target the Executioners, not the, I don't know, not the Bleak Swords or something like that, as the Bleak Swords are shielding the Executioners. Anyway, the battle's ours. I started ranting once the battle was already ours, so no one can blame me. But, well, you can. Oh, also, nice little map. We got some skeletons of something very, very big. Cool. Alrighty, there we go. A really fun and also really unusual fight there against all those piles of Pistoliers and Outriders. I am almost tempted to try to recreate the fight in custom battle, because I'd be really curious to see what would happen if the armies were reversed. Because the AI didn't try to charge the Pistoliers in melee. Now, don't get me wrong, Pistoliers are kiters, they are absolute trash in melee. But are they so trash in melee that they can't use their charges to heavily damage Glade Guard and Deepwood Scouts, which are also not great in melee? That's the real question. Also, once again, our Glade Lord here, looking pretty fantastic. Anyway, yield to full or 2.6k. We're recruiting things right now, and everything's costing us like 3,000 gold to recruit, so we gotta take the money. You just gotta take the money. So take the money we shall. Also, out of curiosity about the damage, 15 and 15k, looks like the Glade Guard, or at least some of the Glade Guard, managed to outdamage the Deepwood Scouts this time. I wonder why. Release captives. And this guy's going to run, and we will have to run him down, though I do wonder whether the auto-resolve... Also a little bit wary of this army getting ambushed by Skaven, as this army is not a good candidate for being ambushed. The Deepwood Scouts can handle it, and the Glade Guard can only fire in one direction, so that they cannot, meaning, yeah, maybe we should eventually replace them when this army is a higher tier with the, with Way Watchers. I'll think about it. I know I say that a lot. And that half the time I don't actually think about it, but anyway, we have, let's see, Vissenland. Alright, we were gonna trade you. depending on if you actually get attacked. And I guess we'll do the same thing here. Oh, wow, we have iron and marble here. Damn, I'm jealous of that. Oh, also, we're out of time. Okay, I was gonna jump into more fights, but we are out of time, and we have to end the episode sometime. I will fight this manually between the episodes, just because it's, well, I don't trust the auto-resolve here. So we'll fight this manually between the episodes, and then we'll either move to Zerixzil and delete Belagar's presence in this part of the world, though he is willing to peace out in theory. We'll see about that. And we may hunt down Karak, or we may send Orion somewhere else. The hunt is on once more, and thus we could move to the Witchwood to reclaim it from these guys. Or we wait until they build it up to like a couple tiers and then attack them. Just gotta make sure that the Sisters of Twilight actually survive it with Daith and Torgavon both, or Findal rather, both helping them. Maybe we'll be okay. Anyway, more Orion to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the hour-long episodes. We might have to move somebody to help run out as well. Just gonna need more armies, and that's fine, because that's why we're recruiting everywhere. Treekin, War Dancers, all that sort of stuff next time. All glory to the algorithm. Maybe fight some ogres with our cav here. And thanks for watching.